What's up, YouTube? This week I have a quick short for you on a Java package called Lombok. One of the biggest complaints I always hear about Java is that it's so verbose. You have to type so much to accomplish the same things you could accomplish in another language like JavaScript or Python. A lot of times when I'm asked about this verbosity, my answer is, with a little bit of code magic, Java can be just as easy to write and just as enjoyable. One such magic package that I like to use in my projects is Lombok. Here you can see I've already imported Lombok into my project. This is a Maven project, Maven being my build tool, and here in my POM XML file I've already brought in the Lombok package. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to use it. What is Lombok? So Lombok is a code generation tool that during compile time will analyze a set of declarative annotations and behind the scenes generate all the code you could ever need. Let's see how it stacks up against hand coding side by side. First, let's start with a quick rundown of objects and methods and common best practices. The first best practice is to make all object properties private in scope. This means you cannot directly access them outside of the object. Remember, all objects have state and behavior, and the properties represent the object's state. The reason it's considered a best practice to use method invocations to access this state is because it aligns with real-world expectations. If you met a dog, for instance, in real life, there's no way for you as a person to instantaneously know the dog's name unless you have some sort of psychic powers. So how do you get the dog's name? Well, the answer here is in the question. You get it. You get the name from some source, such as the owner, or maybe you read the name off the dog's collar. In all of these scenarios, we're performing an action to get the dog's name, just as the owner performed an action to set the dog's name. When they started calling the dog something other than dog, the dog had a name. And thus, this is the standard of how we code Java objects. Properties are inaccessible except through the invocation of methods. Most data classes contain very simple methods, such as these getter and setter methods here. These methods should adhere to a strict pattern defined by the JavaBeans spec. By following this specification, we can add all sorts of extra features and magic to our code. But how do we get around all of this boilerplate? To get around all of this boilerplate is really simple. We can use Lombok. Lombok comes with a few annotations, and we'll take a look at a few of them really quickly. First, let's look at the data annotation. When a class is annotated with @data, every non-static private member property will have a getter and setter generated for us behind the scenes. Additionally, an equals, hashcode, and toString method will be automatically generated for our class. Now, what if we only want getters and setters? Well, that's easy as well. We can replace this @data annotation with @getter and @setter. And now every one of our properties will still get a getter and setter, but those other methods will not be generated for us. Now, what if we only want some of these properties to have getters and setters? We can just as easily move this getter and setter annotation to our individual properties. And as you can see, only the annotated properties will have getters and setters generated. We're going to roll these changes back real quick and put our data annotation back. Now, what if we wanted to create a new instance of a Lombok dog, but we wanted to overload the constructor and supply all of the arguments during object creation? For that, we can add the annotation @allargs constructor. Lastly, if you choose to add the allargs constructor annotation to your class here, we need to make sure that we also add the noargs constructor annotation. So that way we can create an instance of Lombok dog without setting all of these properties all together. Let's head over to our example resources and see this in action. We're going to create a new instance of Lombok dog called ldog. And when we access it in our IDE, you can see that the equals, hashcode, and toString methods, as well as all of the getters and setters, are defined on our specific class. You can see that they are highlighted in bold here in IntelliJ. And they're all accessible and they should all work just like if we had written all of this boilerplate code ourselves. And there you have it, Lombok in 5 minutes. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks!